The Grayscale Bitcoin ETF application is getting really close to approval as the SEC did not appeal. But guys, this is actually huge news, and I want to talk about that in today's video in terms of market psychology, what happened with the price and what do we want to see in the next week. I'm going to share some very interesting charts with you, stablecoin dominance, S&P 500, the Dixie, which is looking very interesting. And at the end of this video, we are also going to have a look at Ethereum, which is very interesting as well. So guys, drop a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and let's jump straight into it. The very big news from yesterday that the SEC won't appeal the loss in Grayscale's case, boosting the odds GBTC can become a Bitcoin ETF. Well, this is actually very bullish news for the ones that believe that a Bitcoin ETF is a bullish situation. But the thing that we've seen with Bitcoin so far, for me personally, I'm not that impressed with the price action, because this is the moment that this news actually came out, and yeah, we did saw a spike in the Bitcoin price. We had a rally of roughly $300, but as you can see, the hours afterwards, we completely retraced this move. So we have to look a little bit at the market sentiment and a little bit at the market mechanics, because this is very bullish news, right? And this news has to convince the market participants to enter Bitcoin in order to drive the price up. But if this amount of bullish news pumps the price with $200-300 and afterwards completely retraced it, that is, for me personally, more a bearish signal than a bullish signal. But I want to give it the benefit of the doubt, because we are on the weekend right now. Maybe we can get some follow through on Monday. But as it looks right now, guys, it is not the most bullish price action, even though we got a pump, because this should be world news. I mean, everyone is waiting for the Bitcoin ETF. Everyone is saying that Bitcoin ETF will bring Bitcoin to $100,000. But this is directly the danger, because people are already anticipating this, right? So if people are already positioned in Bitcoin, anticipating for the Bitcoin ETF approval, then where is the new liquidity going to come from? Right now, well, now we got bullish news. We did got a spike of $300, which is kind of nothing, right? Which is kind of nothing if you look at the news that is coming out. So guys, that should be huge news, right? That the SEC is not appealing that Bitcoin ETF case from Grayscale. So I really want to see some follow through if this is going to be bullish. Interestingly, guys, we are also very close to a 60-day cycle low. We are on day 54, so it is even possible that this is the 60-day cycle low, that it came early. That is definitely possible. For that to happen, I would like to see Bitcoin break above the 4-hour EMA ribbon and hold above that level. But so far, I'm actually not that convinced. If we go to the daily time frame, we can just clearly see that we had kind of a rising wedge formation right here. We broke that rising wedge to the downside. We had a lot of red candles right here. So it really makes sense for Bitcoin to get a bounce. Like, it really makes sense to get somewhat of a bounce. Then when we have a look at the S&P 500, actually looking kind of weird, because we had this head and shoulders formation, right? The left shoulder, head in the middle, right shoulder. We had this gap right here. We had this bounce, which we also mentioned the moment we touched the support. But so far, we actually got rejected from the daily EMA ribbon, and also this white line, which was the resistance. It looks like we are breaking this resistance also to the downside. So a failed attempt of flipping this resistance into support. Also not too bullish. Then when we have a look at the Dixie is actually showing some crazy price movements, because we had this massive long-term uptrend in the Dixie. And so far we had a correction, a breakdown of this trend line, but it looks like it just wants to go back above this trend line. And we did test a very important level, the former resistance right here. We did test that, so it makes sense. The levels that we got to bounce from, it makes sense. but it's quite a strong bounce, and like we've mentioned in previous videos as well, we don't know what kind of effect this has on Bitcoin. Could it be delayed? Because we have seen already a lot of strength in the Dixie, and we haven't seen that bearishness being playing out in Bitcoin. So, and I think it's difficult to have one argument, because you have multiple arguments. The one is, yeah, okay, but then Bitcoin is looking strong while the Dixie is looking strong. That is a good sign for Bitcoin. Yes, but we do see in the past sometimes a delay. That I made a separate video about that we first see the Dixie going up, and that it took some time for Bitcoin to come down, that there was just a delay. So I'm not going to see that as the most bullish sign what we are seeing right here for the risk on markets, especially because of the structure that is visible in the other markets, right? The structure of Bitcoin is not too bullish. The structure of the S&P 500, I would say slightly more bullish than that of Bitcoin, but still not the most bullish structure. Then guys, very important, of course, this is the stablecoin dominance. This is in a shorter term uptrend, but especially also in a macro crossing road. So it's really going to be a major player right here, telling us where it is going to go, whether we can break out to the upside or whether we can break out to the downside. We're touching the resistance right now, so on the one hand it would make sense for this to come down, right? Maybe go back to the support. That would mean that Bitcoin can go on a rally, or we can break out from this resistance. That would be very bearish for Bitcoin. We did already broke out on the relative strength index, so that is something to note. Also with Bitcoin on the daily time frame, if we bring out the relative strength index, we do see we also lost some support right there. So yeah guys, that is this is basically what I'm watching. I think patience is right now very important. I'm going to be very patient in terms of what's happening. I'm going to wait till I have a clear image of that 60-day cycle low. We might play a small move right here, that we have a 60-day cycle low, and that we can play a couple of weeks upwards momentum before we can see the next 60-day cycle low. So that takes 2 months, right, until we see the next low. So often the first half of that 60-day cycle is prices going up. So that is something to note, but do take in mind we can also see something like this, where we just right now bounce, still get that 60-day cycle low maybe at 26,000, and that we then bounce from here, right? That is also possible. So there is no confirmation right now that we have formed that 60-day cycle low, but we might play this. We're still in that short position that we opened right here at 27,500, so that one is doing pretty good. And yeah, so that's actually what's going on. And one thing I wanted to share with you too, guys, is this one. This one is Ethereum against Bitcoin. And I've been talking about Ethereum against Bitcoin. I've been talking about how bearish I am on Ethereum against Bitcoin. And I got a lot of hate for that when that actually happened. But the moment I actually turned bearish was the moment we broke this channel, and a lot of people were saying that, yeah, no, that's not possible. Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin and maybe overtake Bitcoin. So far it hasn't done that, and I just want to share my opinion a little bit on this, because what I found interesting is that we do have somewhat of a cycle also here. So we have like 1,000 days uptrend, then we have like 1 year downtrend, and followed by, maybe we can even make this smaller. Not this one. The other one. Because this one is 1028. If we put that on 1000, this is 850, 980. So this would be, yeah. So the thing is, what we are seeing right here, just based on time, is that we have like a 1,000-day uptrend and then a 1 year downtrend, followed by a 1,000-day, but it can be a little bit more, can be a little bit less. This is like 1100 days, yes. So if we right now would see 1 year of a decline, you can see that we are getting actually very close to a potential bottom in Ethereum. I wouldn't call it a bottom yet, but it looks like that we are getting closer. And let me make it, let's zoom in a little bit on this structure if we do see something. Yeah, so we do have some support over here. It just looks like we are getting closer to a support on Ethereum against Bitcoin. However, we also form a descending triangle, so I got to be a little bit careful right here. But I think if you are a great Ethereum fan and you're holding a lot of Bitcoin and you want to diversify a little bit, this is not the worst time to start accumulating some Ethereum. I'm still possibly going to wait a little bit longer till Bitcoin resolves its issues. So yeah, guys, those are my ideas on Ethereum against Bitcoin. Am I going to buy Ethereum myself just yet? No, I'm not going to buy, but there is maybe one altcoin that I do going to buy, and that altcoin will be shared over on Will Alerts. And that altcoin is looking very, very good right now. And that is the only altcoin for me that really looks kind of incredible and has a great risk to reward ratio. And I'm really doubting to put a big chunk of my portfolio for the coming months into that specific altcoin. Yeah, guys, if you want to know more about the altcoin, make sure to join Will Alerts. We will share exactly which altcoin, which entry, what is the gameplay, what is the strategy, why, what is going on over on Will Alerts. Very important. Then, guys, I want to thank every single one of you for watching this video. If you like this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up. And I want to wish all of you a beautiful day today, and I hope to see every single one of you in the next video.